I remember the exact moment I realized I was meant for more. I was sitting in my tiny cubicle, staring at a spreadsheet that seemed to stretch into infinity. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, and the air smelled of stale coffee. It was just another day at the office, another day where my time, energy, and creativity were being traded for a paycheck that barely covered my rent. I had followed the so-called safe path. I went to college, got a degree, and landed a corporate job that looked great on paper, but deep down, I felt trapped. Every day was the same meetings that led nowhere, deadlines that didn't really matter, and a slow realization that my dreams were slipping away. If you're listening to this, maybe you've felt the same way. Maybe you've questioned whether there's something more out there, something bigger than a 9 to 5 that barely lights a fire in your soul. I'm here to tell you that there is. And in this video, I'm going to take you through the journey of how I went from a corporate employee to building my dream life as my own boss. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it, and by the end, you'll know exactly how you can do it too. Let's start from the beginning. Like so many people, I was raised to believe that success meant security. It meant working hard, getting a stable job, and climbing the corporate ladder. My parents had worked tirelessly to give me a good education, and I didn't want to let them down, so I followed the blueprint. At first, it felt like I was on the right track. My first corporate job paid well, had benefits, and even came with a fancy job title, but the reality was far from glamorous. Long hours, office politics, and the constant feeling that I was building someone else's dream instead of my own, it all started to eat away at me. The worst part, I kept telling myself that this was just how life was supposed to be. Until one day, I met someone who changed my perspective completely. A former colleague who had once worked in the same company as me had quit his job a few years earlier to start his own business. At the time, I thought he was crazy, giving up a steady paycheck, taking that kind of risk. It didn't make sense. But when I saw him again, he was a completely different person. He was happier, more confident, and doing work that actually mattered to him. And most importantly, he was making more money than ever before on his own terms. That conversation planted a seed in my mind. If he could do it, why couldn't I? I started researching everything I could about entrepreneurship. I listened to podcasts, read books, and watched interviews with successful business owners. I studied their stories, looking for patterns and clues. And over time, one thing became clear: every single successful entrepreneur had made one crucial decision.